Hi everyone, thanks for joining me at Soozie Stuff. Will you be my DIY Valentine? Oh, we are going to have such a fun time today. I'm going to be working with a lot of wood scraps and some $1.25 tree calendars, and I usually get everything from Walmart or Dollar Tree. And don't worry if you don't have those wood scraps, because you can use a lot of Dollar Tree signs that will get you through these projects. So let's sit back and have some fun on my Be My Valentine 2022. Let me introduce myself. Hey everybody, I'm Soozie and this is Soozie Stuff. Welcome to station KDIY Channel 146. I'm so happy you're here. I would love it if you'd click and subscribe and then click the bell to be notified when I upload a new episode. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up or even a comment. So don't touch that dial. Let's go make some stuff. Before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to Grammy. She made my Mr. Block snowman. She posted it on Instagram and then tagged me. And if you do the same, then I'll give you a shout out. Look how cute hers is on the left. How darling. I love her scarf. And it was so easy, right, Grammy? Thank you so much for sharing on Instagram. I love it. And I'm so glad that you were able to make this DIY. I hope that you all can do one too. And now for our very first project is my Dollar Tree calendar heart truck. And the first thing you're going to need is a scrap piece of wood. And if you don't have one this size or any size really, just grab a board at Dollar Tree. They have lots of square ones. So this is one of the new calendars, and don't worry if you don't have this calendar. I have seen them still. They got some like another order in, and because they're so popular, and I've seen them in the stores right now. So see if you can grab one. You know, it's like January and they have a lot of calendars out. All right, so I chose this red truck. It's so pretty, and I used some of that it's the Elmer's, and it sprays out purple and then it turns white. And I got that at Dollar Tree as well. So I'm just using my little roller and rolling it down. And I wanted this project to be very rustic and old looking. So I didn't mind all of the little wrinkles. And now I'm just using some Mod Podge with some water in it to go over it. And if you didn't want a lot of wrinkles, you can spray some water down first and then Mod Podge over it. And that should eliminate a lot of the wrinkles. Now, at this point, I was using my finger to sort of mash down the wrinkles to get that look. And then I started using my sandpaper block. I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose this piece. I know it. But I just kept going along and I wasn't too worried. Now, notice that my letters are I messed up on the E, but I was like, it's okay. It's worn, right? And so I just grab my little fine point Sharpie and I fill that in. And it worked out great. So I was excited. You'll see. And I just continue going around with my little sandpaper block. And then I grab my Waverly paint in Antique Wax. And I'm just putting it on with a brush all around it on the edges first. I wipe it on and then I kind of rub it off with my finger. And then I go all the way across. And this really is the best part because it adds that old rustic look that I know you're all going for when you're creating something like this. And I'm just continuing going over the whole thing and wiping it off, putting it on, wiping it off, and getting it all in the right spots there. And then the last part, I grabbed my Sharpie and filled in some of the lettering that kind of got a little bit too rubbed off. And I filled that in. Look at the E there, came back to life. So the Sharpie to the rescue. And now I just add a little bitty bow, and you could just leave it without the bow or add a hanger if you like. But I just love how this turned out. I am so into the rustic and worn look. I love it. It's just so pretty. And remember, if you don't have this calendar, find something very similar on the internet, print it out. I would do it on cardstock and then just start aging it and getting it all that rustic look that you love. So tell me what you think. I love this piece. Okay, here we go on our second project. Love Caulk Heart. I love this project. It's my favorite today. So I'm using the Walmart paint sticks, and then I'm using, yes, that's right, some brown shoe polish from Dollar Tree. And of course, some quick seal caulk that I got at Dollar Tree as well. And so now I'm just laying out all my sticks. Let's see, how many did I use? I can't remember. Can you count? I think I used 8. Is that 8? Yeah, 8. And I just staggered them back and forth, you see there. And then I just secure them with some giant jumbo popsicle sticks. This is something that just kind of popped in my head. I love using that caulk. I actually used it for a snowman and in a couple of episodes ago, and it worked out great. So I'm going to continue using that caulk for other projects. And I tell you, this is the easiest project you'll do, but I tell you, you could take something like this and sell it for $30. I am so in love with it. Okay, now this shoe polish, look at that. Look how easy that is. Now, of course, it's sped up, but I love using this stuff, and it dries like instantly. And so when you put it on, and if you're not real satisfied and you want it a little bit darker, just go over it again. But I tell you, that shoe polish is awesome. So now I got these hearts at Dollar Tree, and I love the shape, but I wanted to make sure that it was kind of even on both sides. So what I did is just trace around it on this side, and then I flip it over and trace it on that side so I could have the same height. What is that hair? I don't know. It just got in the way. And then so all I did was trace around that, and you can see there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I can see it really well. And we're just going to then add our caulk, and this is the fun part. I just grab a spoon and then just start placing it on there. This is so much fun and so therapeutic. I love this part. Did I say that? And what I learned doing this on the other side, you see there, is I actually laid the caulk down on the line and then just sort of pushed it back inward. And I thought that was a little bit better than the other side. So I just keep going, and I sort of do it there as well to give it the same look. Look how pretty that is. It's just so cool, and you can give it little swirls. You could even tint this caulk, like put it out and add some paint to it. And I tell you, in about an hour, this was dry. You would think, oh, I need to wait overnight, which I was ready to do, but it really dried quickly. So I'm going to give you 3 options here. These are some little letter tiles that I got at Walmart. That's my first idea. And then this is a little shadow box thingy that I got at Dollar Tree. It was weird, but it had the XO, and I thought, I'm going to take it out. But then no, I went to my stash. I'm like, I think I have a love. And this came from Dollar Tree. How beautiful is that? So I'm going to use this one, or you could just leave it blank if you like. But okay, so before I put the love on, this is that ribbon I used in the previous DIY. It's called Farmhouse Ribbon. I love it. And they have a lot of it out right now. So all I'm going to do is weave back and forth on each side 2 times. And I love how this turned out, you guys. It is so cool. What do you think? And then I just secured them on the bottom, like where the end is, and then I just tied a bow at the top. It is so, it looks so romantic and so Just so pretty. I love it. You can use any ribbon. You can use that red gingham. I think that would be really cool too if you wanted to add some more color to it. Any ribbon, I think. You could even use some twine. That would be neat. And so I'm just going to hot glue the love on there. Hot glue the love and put it right on, and we are done. You can also add a hanger if you intend to hang it, but I'm just putting it up on my mantle. It is perfect there. I love it. I get so excited. Did y'all know that I love to craft? And so, look how neat that looks. Looks like a cake. Could take a bite. No, but I love it. And then, oh yeah, I took my what do you call it? My sanding block and just kind of went across the top and bottom just to give it a little rustic look there. I don't know if you can see it real well, but I love this piece. Yay! Moving along with our next project, it's called Wooden Heart Frame. Now, these pieces that I'm going to be using, you may not have. I was given a bunch of crafting stuff, but I know that you can make something similar. This was a wooden shadow box, and then that heart was also given to me, and it just kind of fit in there perfectly. I'm going to do some painting, and I thought I was going to use these stickers, but I end up not using them, or this little arrow. But I know that you can find shadow boxes at Dollar Tree. They have them everywhere, and I'm just going to rough this up a little bit. And then on the bottom, I'm just going to give it a coat of this light pink, just one coat because the heart will cover it up. But that is some apple barrel paint, light pink. And then I just fit that heart right in there. But first we're going to paint it. And that color is the Folk Art Cardinal Red. I think it is a really luscious, pretty color for Valentine's. And so I'm just going to add that on there. One coat, just kind of dry brushing it here and there. And that's how that turned out. And these two colors go really well together. I didn't have to paint the shadow box, but if I were going to do it, I would paint it in like a plaster or white even. I just like all these colors. They're very subtle. And then we just hot glue that heart in there. And look at these little floral picks. I got those at Dollar Tree, and they're pink and sort of glittery and perfect for this piece. I love it. And then I'm going to use some of that ribbon, the farmhouse ribbon. It kind of goes through this whole video today because it's so pretty. But I love that floral stuff. It's perfect on the top, and I think that came together beautifully. So find some similar pieces, and I just want to give a shout out to Donna and her mom for giving me these pieces. I love it, and I thank you so much. It turned out great. And our next project is called Wreath Turned Heart. Yes, that's right. We're going to take a wreath and turn it into a heart. And these are some pieces that I was thinking I was going to use for this project, but I don't. But I am going to use this grapevine wreath from Dollar Tree. Now, I have cut these things so many times before making a lot of other projects, and I'm going to link down below and up above there the project that I did last year, making these into hugs and kisses, the X and the O, and you'll see that. So what I did first is just sort of squeeze it together to make the point of the heart, and you want to make sure that you keep the twine on there because it keeps all the pieces together. So you just kind of have to work with it. And you know what? I'm thinking that you could even spray some water on it. That might help make it a little more workable. But I just didn't think about it until just now. And so all you have to do is cut it, squeeze it together. You might need another pair of hands. And hot glue it, hold it on there, and then use some twine to sort of secure it all together. Just get ready for a little messy work area, but it is all worth it. So I'm just kind of shaping it, and I really like how it's not a perfect heart, but just kind of use some muscle and move it like you want. Like I said, I think the water would have helped, but I didn't even think about that. But I love the heart shape, how it turned out. Okay, mess cleaned up, everything is secure, look how cute. And then I decide, I don't want it just like that. I'm gonna get a piece of scrap wood. And so I found this piece. It's a little warped, but that's okay. And I am going to use some more liquid shoe polish. This is white. And I tell you, I love this stuff. It is so easy. You don't have to get your brushes out or anything. You just, to clean up, you put the cap on. And I love it. And it really does take 2 or 3 coats, and it dries super quick. And again, if you don't have a piece of scrap wood, you can use a board from Dollar Tree. Now, this is 3 coats, but I did take my sandpaper and just kind of go across it again to give it a little bit of rustic look and worn look. And now I'm just going to give it a tiny bit pop of color, and I use this red gingham ribbon, and I'm wrapping it around just a little bitty part of the heart. I love how this looks. There's a little piece right here that needs to be cut off, and I just keep wrapping it on just one little area and then hot glue it secure. Now all I have to do is just hot glue the heart right onto the scrap piece of board. And then I have these little Dollar Tree wooden cutouts, and I just stick that on there. I think there's one that says love as well. And I love this. Look how cute. Look how cute that turned out. Oh. And again, you can use any kind of ribbon on the side. You can add a bow, whatever. And I know that the heart takes a little bit of muscle to get it into shape, but we did it, and I love it. And I think this would be easy for you as well. How fun on a cool, snowy day to make. Be mine. And now we're going to do another Dollar Tree calendar with the one that says, love what you have. And so this one, I've got some scrap wood that my friend Stacy gave me, and it's already sort of painted a grayish color. I think they used that for a wall or something. And I'm going to use this page from one of the Dollar Tree calendars. Now, this is going to be pretty much like the other one that we first saw that I did, but I don't rough it up as much. But also, as I was looking, there's also another heart page that says love the little things. I almost used that. I thought that was pretty, but I went with my first choice. So all I'm going to do is just take these slats and hot glue them together, and then I put some reinforcement on the back using some giant popsicle sticks. Again, if you don't have any boards like this, just grab a Dollar Tree board, and you can just use some gray chalk paint and water it down. I think you'll get about the same gray color. Now I'm just adding some Mod Podge down first with some water, and then we'll press that on top using my little roller. Now this wood is very rough, so there is going to be some lines and some little crevices in there, but I really like how that part turned out. Now I'm just going over it with a final coat of Mod Podge that's mixed with some water, and I'm just kind of mashing down the little wrinkles, and that was fine with me on this project. And then later you'll see that I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon to it. So now it's dry, and I'm just taking my little sanding block and taking off the excess there. And then when I did this side, it kind of took off because it has that little ridge in there, which was fine, but kind of looked a little uneven. So I just kind of did a little more on the right to try to even it up. and it works out pretty well. I love it. And guess what? I'm using that farmhouse ribbon again. So I'm just going to add it to the top and the bottom of this little piece. And it really did sort of frame it very nicely. And lastly, I'm using the 16 gauge wire that I picked up at Walmart, and I'm just going to make a little handle or a little hanger part on top. This wire is a little bit thicker, but I love it because it's very sturdy. And so I just kind of curl it around and make a little curly Q at the top. And then I'm going to add 3 of these gray wooden beads that I got from Amazon. And we're going to put those on, and I'll hot glue it on using some popsicle sticks to secure it. And it's all secure and dry. I love it. It's ready to go, hang up, or you can stand it up. But here it is in all its glory. When you love what you have everything you need. And that is so very true, especially for crafting. And I know you'll have fun making this project today. And my last project today is called 4 Hanging Hearts. And I'm first starting out with these crafter square hearts. You can usually find them over, in the crafters section, but they have them out now by the Valentine stuff. And you're also going to need a scrap piece of wood or one from Dollar Tree. So again, I'm using this great brown shoe polish. It really is a great go-to when you want to stain something super quick and don't want to spend too much time. This shoe polish works great. And also, if you want it to be a little bit darker, just let it dry for a second and then go back over it. And you can also use a sandpaper to rough it up a little bit. And now I'm using these brand new brushes I got at Walmart. They're specially made for chalk paint, and I'm loving it. So I'm definitely going to take care of these. I'm just going to really quick do a 1 coat on these hearts, and I'm going to use my sandpaper again to go over these hearts and give them a rustic and worn look. And now that all the painting and sandpapering is over with, I've got my polka dot little ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree. I love it. Made 4 little bows for just a little bit later. So all I have to do now is hot glue the little hearts onto the board. Now, aren't you supposed to use an odd number of things? Well, I didn't have 5 hearts. I went with 4 hearts, and I'm actually glad that I had that because it really worked out well. And now I'm using again some of that 16 gauge wire, and we're going to make a hanger. And what's great is the hole for the 2 end hearts work great because that's where the wire is going to go. And I'm just going to make a little bitty curly cues again, just on the top. And you could add beads if you wanted to. I didn't. I just pushed it through and then twisted it around. I really needed my pliers, so now I finally have them. And I wanted that to look more like a round circular part at the top. So you can just kind of twist it and turn it any way you like. And yeah, pliers really do help. And we're almost on the very end. All we have to do is add the bows. And here we are with the final little touches, the little polka dot bows. I think they just add the perfect touch to this little piece. We are done. I love it. And of course, you can add any type of bow that you have sitting around the house. I enjoyed this so much, so easy. And usually Dollar Tree always has those hearts all year round. So make sure you pick up a few and make something like this. I think you will enjoy hanging it in your home today. And one more thing I wanted to share with you. I made these gnomes last week in my Saturday video, and he was so cute. I had to touch him up a little bit more with some Valentine stuff. So since I had those tiles laying around from the other project, I just hot glued those to his hat. And if you want to see how I made him, just click on the link down below. I'll leave all my gnome links down. I made it out of some socks from Dollar Tree, and there, now he is an official Valentine gnome. And let's take one last look at everything. I hope you enjoyed watching all of these fun projects and it's inspired you to try some of these things on your own, especially that caulk. You have to try that. I love weathered kinds of looks and a lot of rustic and farmhouse things. So I just had fun creating, and you guys make it so worth the while at YouTube as I first started doing this, and I just appreciate all your support and all the wonderful comments that you leave. You're so kind. And thanks once again for watching Soozie's Stuff, KDIY Channel 146. Bye everybody.